Hey sweets, Becca here with Becca's Easy Recipes. How are y'all doing today? Well, today I'm doing great. Of course, I'm doing great every day pretty much. Today we're going to be making Carne Guisada, which is a super simple recipe. It's one of our family favorites. And it doesn't take a lot of ingredients, so let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna be using beef that's already been cut up for beef stew, and I got a can of tomato sauce, green chilies. Now you don't have to add green chilies to it, but that's how I like it. I also diced up some onion for this dish. You don't have to put onion in it, but I like it with onion. I have some flour that we're going to use to thicken our broth. What's going on here? And I'm going to turn my burner on to about medium heat. And I'm going to add a little bit of, I like to use extra virgin olive oil. It does heat up a little quicker, but I like it because I think, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's a little healthier than regular oil. You can use lard also. So this is going to take about an hour to hour and a half to cook because you want your meat to get tender. Sometimes this meat can be a little tough, so it takes a while to cook. And also, I like to use Carne Guisada seasoning. I got this from Kroger. You could probably find it at H-E-B or somewhere. If you don't have this, you can certainly make your own seasoning, which I usually do most of the time. I just happened to see this when I was at the store, so I grabbed it. But it calls for comino, salt. You don't have to add black pepper, but you can. Garlic powder and onion powder, and a little bit of paprika. If you're gonna make your own, you know, that's the ingredients. But I'm gonna use this one today, and we're gonna see how it tastes. It's been a while since I bought it, so I don't remember what the flavors are like. So we're gonna go ahead and get this meat going. And I'm also gonna make some Pico de Gallo to go with it. You can make salsa with it, but I just like Pico with it, so that's what I'm gonna make. And I did forget the cilantro that goes with it, but I do have some dried, so we're gonna see how that works out. And see, and this meat's already cut up for you, but it's a little bit chunky, so if you want it smaller, you can certainly cut it up a little bit more. I'm just gonna leave it like it is, because it'll shrink anyways. But I thought, you know what? Carne Guisada sounds good for dinner. And I'm gonna make some refried beans, and I'm gonna heat up some tortillas. We sometimes get our tortillas from Rose's Cafe, I think that's what it's called, because theirs is pretty good, you know. You can certainly make your own. I have a video on my channel of how to make it, so you can certainly make your own. But if you're crunched for time, you know, just buy you some tortillas, and they're already made, and you ain't gotta worry about it. Okay, so we're gonna get this going. I'm gonna wash my hands right quick. Because nobody likes to eat your food if you got funky hands, right? So let's get this bad boy going. And get a spoon. In this recipe, I could probably make it with my eyes closed because I've made it for years and years. And it does feed a lot of people. And like I said, you can add rice and beans to it, and it'll go even further because you got sides to go with it. So we're gonna get this browning. And while this is browning, I'm gonna get started on my pico so it can have time to sit in its juices and, you know. Okay, so I already have some of my onion cut up. This is for the carne guisada. So I'm gonna leave that to the side. I'm gonna use the rest of this onion to make my pico with. So I'm gonna start cutting it. And I'm just gonna go make little slits down it, but not all the way to the end. See, if you make little slits like this, you know, it's open, but you don't go all the way to the end, then it's easier to chop up. You know what I'm saying? See, it's already little pieces. Just don't cut yourself. And I love pico de gallo. I mean, you can put it on everything, even your eggs and your breakfast and stuff. You can just eat it with chips. You know, you can put it on even steaks. And this will last probably 2 to 3 days in your fridge if you don't eat it all first. And you can use as much onion as you want to, just depending on how much you're going to make. If you're going to make it for a party or something, then you can use a whole onion or a couple of onions. If you're going to do just for you and your spouse or whatever, you can do half an onion. It don't matter. So, get my bowl here. I'm going to put this onion in my bowl. Don't take long. And you can put however many jalapenos too. But let me give you a little tip. You see how it's curled on the end? I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can see this one better. You see how it's curled on the end? The ones that are curled like this are usually pretty hot. You know, that's just regular jalapeno. This is a little, serrano or whatever you call it. And see, this one's a little bit curved too. So I'm just going to use 3 jalapenos. If they're just like the straight tip, they're normally going to taste like bell pepper. Yeah, it's just a little trick I learned. And you can leave the seeds in if you want to, but you don't have to. I do just because it gives a little extra kick. You know, sometimes it's a little too much kick, and you know, gives you a little booty burner. Now you can chop them like this. If I were you, I'd wear gloves. It's already too late for me, guys. Save yourself. I forgot my gloves. But don't touch your eyes. Don't touch your mouth. Don't touch your nose, because the heat gets in them little membranes and stuff, and whoo-wee, you are going to be in a world of hurt, I'm telling you. You can put as much jalapeno or serranos in there that you want to. You can roast them if you want to, give them a little smoky flavor. So I'm going to finish chopping all this up. After this, I'm going to chop up my tomatoes. And we're going to check that meat right quick. Okay, I just added the onions to this. And they're starting to get nice and browned. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open my can. I'm going to add some flour to this. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the meat. Like so. Probably a couple of tablespoons or so. We're going to coat all the meat with it. And then this way we can kind of cook the flour taste out of it at the same time. And I do have my comal heating up already for my tortillas here in a little bit. Because with this, we use tortillas as our utensils instead of forks or spoons. That's just the way we've always done it anyways, growing up. So, let's see. I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and add my green chilies. I'm going to stir it up. And you can add whatever you like to this. You can add peas or corn. Just leave it by itself. I always just leave it by itself. But now I'm going to add my flour. My tomato sauce. Let's pick this up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to add my seasoning. Oh, I forgot to open it. Tell you, I just bought this too. Just because I've seen it. Yeah, I'm one of those type of shoppers. If I see something I haven't seen in a while or whatever, then I just throw it in the cart. Yummy. That's good already. Now, I'm going to add some hot water to it. And I'm going to use my can. And I'm going to put 2 to 3 cans of hot water into my pan. I am going to add some salt to this also. We're going to start out with 2 cans first. If it's too thick, then you can add another can. It's not going to hurt anything. Mix it all up, that way the flour is good and incorporated. You don't want any lumps or anything. And after you put all your seasoning in it, you're going to let this cook on, cook slow, low and slow for about an hour to an hour and a half, just to give the meat time to tenderize a bit. And while that is doing its thing, I'm gonna finish up our pico de gallo. But you see how the juice is already thickening up? I'm gonna turn our heat down. You're gonna check this periodically and stir it up so it doesn't stick to the pan. It already looks and smells good. Lord. I gotta get my salt out of the cabinet. And my garlic powder. Now you can add fresh garlic to this if you want to. Getting gutsy here, just pouring it. Ooh. Probably a good teaspoon of each. And we're gonna let this continue to simmer. This has been going for probably about 5 minutes now, so we will come back to this shortly. I'm going to put a lid on it also. That way it's not spitting everywhere. La la la. Okay, we're back to the pico de gallo. I've got the onions, the chile, and the tomatoes in here, ready to be stirred up. I'm gonna add some salt to it, because you gotta have some salt. Give it some flavor, you know? And this can take quite a bit. Next, we're going to add a lemon, and I'm gonna roll it to get the juices flowing. Okay, I got my trusty lemon squeezer. I'm gonna cut this in half. Open my little lemon squeezer here. And these you want to put this side down. And then that way when you squeeze it, it squeezes all the juice it can get out of there. And no seeds get in it. You see? Just a little squirter over here. And it catches the seeds and then you just throw them in the trash. We like a lot of lemon, so we're going to do a whole lemon. Now, I'm gonna give this a stir. Get it all nice and incorporated. Now, you don't have to add cilantro to it. I normally do. I, however, just forgot it at the grocery store. There's so many people there, I just got to hurry up and get out of there. Now, I'm gonna get my dried cilantro and see, add a little bit, see how it tastes. See, yum. And the juice and stuff from in here will rehydrate the little cilantro pieces. Okay, I got it nice and mixed up. You see? Look at that little beauty. Now I'm gonna have to taste it, so I went dragged out the chips. Get a good bite with everything on it. Yummy. Okay, here goes. I think it needs a little more salt. But other than that, it's not overpoweringly spicy. Thank you, Jesus. This is just right. Like I say, trying to pick your peppers and stuff is playing Russian roulette. You never know what you're gonna get. Try one more time. That bite had a little more kick to it. But it's just right. With the carne guisada and the beans with it, it's gonna balance out well. So I'll get back with you here, guys, in just a little bit. We're gonna let this cook up. Like I said, it's gotta cook for like an hour and a half. So I'll get back with y'all. Guys, I wanted to show you, I made some agua fresca, which is water with fresh fruit. And how I did it was, I used fresh pineapple, a whole pineapple. I put some water in my blender here. Then I put about a half a cup of sugar. You don't have to put that much, but I'm making 2 liters of it. So after I blended it up, then I added some more water to fill it up. And you can strain it if you don't want the pulp in there, but we like the pulp in ours. So I'm going to leave it in there and just pour it into my jug here. And I want my jug to be full, so I'm going to add some more water. Because after all, it is a fresh water, so fresh fruit water. And this is like the kind that you can buy at the Spanish stores, grocery stores and stuff. Or like little food trucks or something. But this stuff right here, guys, is really, really good. And you don't even have to add sugar if you don't want it that sweet. because pineapple's already pretty sweet. But let's go ahead and give this here a taste. Just want to try it out. Cheers, guys. Yeah, it's got a lot of pulp in it, so I might have to strain some of it out. But other than that, it's really, really good. And all you gotta do is get you a cup or a glass, put you some ice in it, and pour this over it, and enjoy it. You won't be sorry. Try it out, guys. Okay, y'all. I have heated up a tortilla, and we are gonna give this a taste here. Still pretty hot. Got to be careful. Let me get a spoon. Okay. It looks and smells delicious. And this is gonna be hot, guys. Look at that little beauty. Yum. I'm gonna put a little pico on it. Our fresh homemade pico. And we're going to try it out. Santa Maria, that's hot. But I think it's done. The meat is so tender, and the gravy has a lot of flavor. And putting the pico on top of that, man, tops it off perfectly. So, guys, y'all need to try and make this. Make it for your family. Sit down, break bread with each other. That is very good. And when you can make it at home, who needs a restaurant, right? So, that's it from me, guys. Thank you for watching. I love you. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. And just remember, you're smart, you're beautiful, and you're everything God made you to be. And don't let anybody tell you any different. I'd hate to give them an elbow. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. Alright, guys. Love you. Peace out.